Hello and welcome. Wait, that's not how this starts. Hello and welcome. That's insane.
What are you, French?
Who would say that? That's
Frenchman.
not how we start our special show. Those aren't the words that Uncle Benny Ben says to the listen people.
Brian wants to do a podcast.
Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Friend Dog Studios. This is Brian Wants to Do a Podcast. The podcast where we are still trying to determine what kind of podcast might be best for doing. I'm Ben Oxshire.
I'm Brian Huther.
And today we're going to, throw another concept at the wall. You know what I mean? And we're going to see if maybe finally it is the one that turns us into the next
Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah, we're going to be the next Joe Rogan. We are going to be the next people to be so innovative and so comedically brilliant that we can get the most fascinating guests of our time on and make them sound boring. What kind of thing you want to do today?
Oh, today?
Yeah.
You want to launch into that?
The thing is, early on in the show's lifespan, we actually used to get to the to the premise really quickly, and then as time went on, I noticed that there were some episodes where we would be talking for like 10 minutes before we even mentioned it. So I don't know what the rules are. I forgot to write them down in the town charter.
We haven't been having creative meetings with the mayor.
We haven't called forth the city alderman to ask them, hey, what does an alderman do?
Do you think alderman comes from elderman? It's got to be, right? It's like Swedish. Das ist der alderman.
Das ist der alderman. It comes from a time, a very dark and cold time, where people didn't live very well or much.
They didn't even try to live long because they weren't living well or much.
Yeah, and so whoever did just live the longest was the older man, and he was in charge. And it didn't matter if he was actually old, just older. Like it might have been like a 30-year-old, but he was the older man.
Yeah, and if power was worth having at the time, there was a clear incentive to kill anybody who was older than you.
That's right. It was a good system.
Yeah, it's really good. One time a kid made it.
The entire system actually only stopped when there was a child in charge of things, and the only person younger than him wasn't old enough to understand what was happening, and then the older man never told the kid what the system was supposed to be because he didn't want to get killed, and so it went away.
I'm going to pretend like I followed all that.
I'm going to pretend like it made sense.
I'm going to pretend like I have a podcast concept. And I do.
Oh, all right.
I need to pee real quick.
Oh.
And then we jump into it?
Well, I don't want to jump into your pee. You can just...
Not jump into it. We'll jump into the concept.
Okay.
Okay.
Brian's going to go to the bathroom, and I'll just wait here. Oh, doing my songs, singing them wrongs.
Hello.
Oh.
Is this the place? Is this where there's the Brian Wants to Do a Podcast?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Hello.
Who are you?
My name is Dirk. Dirk Burfson.
Dirk Burfson.
You may know me from the Dirk Burfson's Internet Takedown.
I think I do remember you from a segment on an episode of a show that never had a second episode.
Never mind what the fun time was that we had then is to be remembered for all times. And in Auld Lang Syne we shall sing of it. I have an idea. I listen religiously to your podcast.
Okay, how did you get in?
I use the crime ladder within the closet.
God damn it, the crime ladder is getting us in trouble again.
Can I tell you that I have an idea for a podcast?
Well, usually Brian does that, but since he's in the bathroom and you're here and I'm very impatient, I think why not?
I am all about taking down the losers on the internet.
That's what I know of your persona.
That I am there to do all the takedowns that the national media news won't do.
Oh, sure, yeah. The media isn't even talking about it.
I have discovered recently that I have another passion as well.
Oh.
That I think would make a nice combinational effect. That there is the passion that I have, which is birdwatching.
Birdwatching?
So what I think it could be is Dirk Burfson's Birdwatching and Internet Takedown podcast.
Okay, let me see if I follow this.
Sure.
It's a podcast that's about bird watching.
Yes.
Amateur ornithology and also going after people on the internet who say stupid things.
It's pretty self-explanatory, you doofus. You just got took down.
I mean, that sounds interesting because you're either paying close attention to birds or you're yelling at people on the internet. Either way, there's a lot of tweeting going on.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but sure. You keep a little book and it has the names of birds in it.
Yeah.
And then you look at the bird and you look at the book and you say, that's this bird.
Mm-hmm.
This is the French-tailed baritone. This is the crusty-lipped house sparrow.
Yeah, you might mark down that you saw a once and future wing.
There's the Chock-and-Jay.
There's the quack contopter.
A two-feathered duck person.
There's a three-breasted wigglewort.
Pigeonshit.com.
A sham-bambled salamander.
Senator Gershwin Feathers and Stuff.
The Cableman 2 starring Jim Carrey.
They're all in there. So you just look at what they are and then you write them down that you had it. So then what we do is have a guest on the podcast every time. And the thing the guest isn't supposed to know is that while you're watching the birds and taking down the peoples, you're actually also taking down the person that you had as a guest.
There's a third element to this?
It's just another takedown.
You're going to watch birds. You're going to burn people online. You're going to have a guest in studio to help you do that. And then you are going to insult the guest.
As a secret surprise takedown at the end of every episode.
I got to say, you're going to have a guest in every week who has never heard of the show.
Nobody listens to podcasts.
That's been our experience, yes.
Let's look into it more deeper.
We can definitely talk it through. Brian.
Oh, hello there, Brian. This is me, Dirk Burson. You know me from the internet. Oh, hey.
He
Dirk.
just kind of walked in while you were peeing and then diving into it.
I have the best idea for a podcast, and what it is called.
Here, Brian, actually, I wrote down all the details of it, and I'm going to hand them to you on this slip of paper so you can read them quickly, and it doesn't need to be explained
this
again.
way I can get caught up real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, here you go.
I'll just read it. Let's just see here. Bird. Mm-hmm. And lots of tweets. Did you make a joke about tweets?
I did.
Cool.
You didn't get it.
I think what happened is that I got the joke and rejected it.
You know what? That's fair. That's your prerogative as an internet personality.
So bird watching and internet takedowns.
Yeah.
Internet takedowns. Everybody loves that, right?
Everybody loves a good bit of ponage on the internet.
Yeah, you got to pwn them, got to own them, got to take them down to...
You got to know when to own them. Know when to pwn them. Know when to block a guy and when to track his IP.
You got to know when to talk to him. Know when to dox them. Oh, you got to sing an internet song and have it there inside of your butt. And you did stupid, and I'm taking you down.
Wow. You know, just as a proof of purchase here, could I throw some tweets at you?
Yeah, why don't we just have you take down a few different internet things? So, like, we'll serve them up, bump set them for you. You can spike them right down on the other side of the net, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't think that I do, actually. It's not in my nature to understand a metaphor.
I have a tool here in front of me that will just display a random tweet. I'll just read you the tweet, okay? And then you take it down.
Sure.
All right? Here we go. From @MovieWeb. Scientists argue if Spider-Man could even exist. And then there's a link to a story about that.
I think this movie website is thinking it's a spider itself because of how stupid it is. If you just look at the world, you know there's Spider-Man. There's Spider-Man 2, 3, 4, and extras all on top of that. If you don't know that there's a Spider-Man, who the science are you? Because you don't even go to the movies. You just got took down.
@Jaddy Semenkin Tao says, "Good morning, everyone. Have a nice day."
Oh, the real original there, Jamaican Tao. It's almost like somebody said that to you and you just put it in your mouth from your ears and then you just spit it out with your tongue on the world. Thanks a lot for your stupid contribution, Mr. Takedown.
Sugar Brown 91 says, "Stir It Up is my song."
No matter how delicious your moniker may be, there's no excuse for claiming the song belongs to you, when clearly, by all the evidences, it doesn't. No judge would convict, but you're stupid. Took down.
I'm liking these takedown noises that you brought with you. That's really strong. It's adding a lot to it.
I have this large, you may think that this is a calculator watch on my belt protector.
You have a protector on your belt, and on that is a watch that's a calculator that's something else?
It is a soundboard for all of my takedown noises like this one.
Oh, wow. I feel, Brian, I don't know about you, but
these all sound like, if I heard this sound while I was giving a speech, I would know that it was not going over well.
This is a lot of fun. The concept is a lot of fun, but I got to be honest, I'm mostly interested in you as a person at this point.
Yeah, Dirk, I mean, I think you could do any concept, but just you as a host is...
You are a host unto yourself.
Some people might say that I am the host with the greatest amount.
So close. He's so close to so many things. Dirk, how'd you get into bird watching?
Well, you see, I was sitting one day next to a window, something I often do while I'm contemplating my next takedown.
Sure.
There was a bird. Just landed on the sidewalk of my window.
Some of us might call that a sill or a ledge.
I call it the sidewalk.
And that's what makes you special, Dirk.
And so there was a bird, and I stopped to watch it for almost a second. And I said, this is an enjoyable pastime. My mother, who was real, always used to say to me that there's three things you can focus on in this world. The way that you feel, the way that other people feel, or looking at a bird.
Did your mom also play those soundboard noises like you just did when you said
I got this from my mother.
Oh.
In fact, this was passed down to me on the day that she got took down by mortality.
Oh.
If I might say, it seems like you're more interested in taking people down than you are in birds, because you are not out on a search for birds. Not now, because it is the nighttime. There are not birds at night.
But there's always people to be taken down on the internet.
That is true, because the internet is 24/7, but birds have operating hours.
If you're just joining us, that's weird. This is a podcast. Why did you open the app and just skip to the middle? But we're here with Dirk Berfson, a bird enthusiast and takedown professional. When we get back from the break, we're going to be talking with Dirk a little bit more about his career, his inspirations, and his new line of perfume. Hey, did you know that Patreon exists and that it is a place where you can go to throw us a couple of bucks, like as though we were playing in your favorite piano bar and you wanted to give us a little tip? You can do it at patreon.com/frienddog.
Just imagine the two of us sitting over there at the bar, shouting out witticisms and stream of consciousness.
That's what we used to do before we discovered the medium of podcasts. And boy, howdy, let me tell you, this works better.
We don't have to be in any place at any time.
Nope. In fact, we're neither right now. We have escaped the bounds of all dimensionality, and we are recording this from anotherwhere.
We would love to have your support on Patreon. You can get access to our whole bonus content library, from old sketches and things to more contemporary things like our audio commentary for the 2019 film Cats. And if you are not able to support us on Patreon at this particular time, there are so many other things that we would be honored and in your debt if you would do. Leave us a review. We will read it on an episode in a funny voice. Tell your friends, share an episode, rate us.
Share your friends.
Tell
your
friends,
an episode.
Rate your friends. Review your friends.
Go to your friends and try your best to just repeat an episode that you've heard.
Try to describe to them everything that happens in an episode.
Because there is nothing funnier than listening to a piece of comedy be retold secondhand. Welcome back. Once again, if you're just joining us, why
it's not our fault for saying it. It's your fault for us thinking you are doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The version of you we have in our heads sometimes is just
You are such an
extraordinarily
idiot. You are
stupid.
so stupid.
You're just so inept. The things that we think you might do are just extraordinarily dumb.
unconscionably stupid, honestly.
You should be in prison.
We think that prison should exist and it should be for you.
Yeah, and only you.
One prison only, and it's for you.
Once I hit 35 and I can finally run for president, that is going to be my big issue. that I
Our
run
stupid
on.
listener
Our
in jail.
One man, one jail. It's going to be the slogan.
Lock him up, our stupid listener.
We're here with
Dirk.
our guest that we did not book nor voluntarily let into the apartment, Dirk Berfson.
Let it never be said that any man could book Dirk Berthen.
You're unbookable?
That's right. No person could track me down and contact me to schedule a setting for the place to record it.
Dirk, it seems like you're falling asleep.
It seems like you're so boring that I'm falling asleep. You got took down. So, Dirk, we really do want to try to get into a little bit of the bird. Do you have any favorite
Yeah,
birds?
do you have a favorite bird?
I think that probably a cardinal is my favorite bird.
A cardinal?
Yes.
Okay, so it's sort of a red...
It is red. The male of the species is red, or more red, or less red, or more. One of them, the males and the females have different kinds of reds, and the one of them is very bright, and the other one is like a dull maroon, rusty red-brown color.
Well, see, what I find ironic about this, Dirk, is it sounds like you're the one who's not very well read. You got took down! Did I do it right?
I think I can't. This is unacceptable to do to a guest in your home.
But
You're not a guest.
You're
Dirk.
not a guest. We
You're
didn't
if
invite
anything,
you.
you're an intruder.
Hold for cat scratches. All right.
The Cat Scratch Fever by Ted Bundy. That song by Ted Bundy.
I don't think that's by Ted Bundy.
Well, then who is it by?
Ted Nugent, I want to say.
That's sure. But which of them is the bigger crime?
I'd like to see, Dirk, if we could combine your passions for a moment.
Into a podcast where we watch for birds and also take people down on the internet. That was my original idea. Thank you for catching up.
I know, but I want to see if there's any cross-pollination available here in terms
That's not
of...
how birds work.
I'm aware.
It was a metaphor. I
it's a-
don't do well with
I
metaphors.
don't do well with a lot of things.
Honestly, I would say that you two gentlemen probably have what it takes to be part of my podcast.
You think so?
And since I have come here to audition you in your house,
Is that what happened?
that I am now getting to a place where I feel comfortable saying that we could go on to the next round for Birdwatching and Internet Takedown with Dirk Berthen's Internet Takedown.
What do you think it would be the next step in development then?
We would have to go out on location so that we could observe some real life birds in their birdful habitats.
All right, let's do that right now.
All right.
I really don't get out enough these days. It's
Yeah.
nice out here.
It's really nice. I don't see any birds yet,
I
though.
don't either. It is still nighttime.
There are no birds at the nighttime. Sometimes, though, you can birdwatch with bugs in a pinch.
That'd be bug watching, would it not?
If you started as a bug watcher, that would be bug watching. This is what I would call replacement bird watching. In a pinch.
If you're bird watching and you substitute bugs, but then a bug gets swooped in on and eaten by a bird, what are you watching then?
Probably just a bird, right?
I would think
In
so.
that case, you're just watching a bird.
You know, Dirk, when we started on this journey, I didn't know if you had anything to teach me. That's all.
Oh, look over here. There's probably this is an earthworm.
So it is.
It is gross and slimy. I do not want to touch the earthworm.
Well, it's called bird watching with bugs, not bug touching without birds, right?
That's right. You make a good point. Let's take down this earthworm.
It's already pretty low, but go for it.
Listen to you, earthworm.
Ben, this has been fine, but I don't think this guy is gonna leave of his own accord.
I don't think so either. How do we ditch him and get back to our apartment without him following us up there with the crime ladder?
You individual earthworm. It said you don't go fast enough, and the earthworm races.
Do you think that there's a job we could send him on? He seems suggestible.
And in desperate need of diversion.
That earthworm didn't stand a chance against me, Dirk Burstyn. On the internet, Dirk Burstyn with the internet takedown.
Yeah, he burrowed back into the earth pretty much immediately.
Yeah. Hey, Dirk, the one thing in our apartment that we can never find fault with
Never.
is the crime ladder, which all of our listeners will know.
We were doing an episode about the criminal
crime.
justice system, and I mentioned that I had been climbing a crime ladder, and then we talked about how we keep it in the apartment, and now you have used it to get into our apartment, and now we need you to take it down for us.
To take down the crime ladder.
Well, what do you think? Can you do it?
I think that if given enough time and space, I could do anything. That, as long as I don't die.
Well, why don't you do that, and we're going to head back to the apartment.
You go wait there, and I will come to you once I have taken down the crime ladder.
Okay.
All right, Dirk.
Bye.
Bye.
What are you?
You should probably be thinking about that for a few years, right?
He's gonna get stuck, right?
Yeah, probably.
That's the rules.
That's sort of the lore that's been established vaguely in this kind of magical realism that we've set up.
Let's talk about where you were on the night of right now being stupid.
Wow, we're back at our desks.
Yeah.
Well, you want to do prawns and
Let's
cones?
do cones and prawns.
Cones and prawns.
Cones and prawns. What's going on? The cones are pros and the prawns are cons. It's cones and prawns.
I feel like I should be able to be better at that.
But I appreciated how much head waggle you gave at that time. That's not something the listeners are going to be privy to, but the head was a waggle.
Now you can hear the head waggle. You can hear when someone's smiling while they're talking, and you can hear the head waggle.
That's right. When Mariah Carey makes her head a jumble, it comes through to your soul.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Cone.
Yeah.
People love it when you dunk on each other online, I guess.
Here's a cone that I have.
Yeah.
I have this weird sense that this guy is strangely compelling, and I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Am I off base with that?
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't seem to stop talking to him, even though he seemed to actively repel me. So if that's not compelment, then that's not a word.
I mean, birds are cool, I guess.
Birds are cool.
Birds are cool. There's lots of cool kinds of birds.
Yeah.
Prawns, it makes no fucking sense.
Oh,
I don't know
none.
what the fuck is happening.
So, Brian, scale of 1 to 10. 1 is the gentlest pond. 10 is a furious hurricane of love. What do you think?
But the pond is good?
well,
or bad? No, the
pond
bad.
is boring.
Oh, boring. Okay.
Ponds are bullshit, and I've always said so.
I mean, I guess like a 4. Like, it's not terrible, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna put this
I
up.
think he should make that podcast.
He should.
I don't know why he
Dirk
came to-
Burfson should make that podcast on his own. There should be several segments. It should just be guys shouting into a microphone in his garage. That should be the style of podcast.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is.
yeah. Like a Marin kind of thing.
Yeah.
What's your rating of that?
I'm going to also say 4. 4 for us. I think if he did it, I'd tune in every week.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
probably an 8. We're going to wrap things up now because there's a giant bug on the wall behind me, and it's creeping me out, and I can't concentrate on it.
I think it's dead. It's been there since this morning.
It's been there since this morning?
Yeah.
That thing's been behind me all damn day?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, see?
Oh.
Knowledge is the better part of fear.
I don't like that. I don't like knowing that. I liked it better when I didn't know that. I don't think people should learn things. That's my position now because of a bug. Because I went out to Birdwatch and instead I had to substitute this bug. and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, not at all.
Until next time, I'm Ben Oxshire.
I'm Brian Huther.
And we will see you on another episode of Brian Wants to Do a Podcast.
This is my provisional catchphrase.